In a large and busy city in Nigeria, the sun shone brightly over tall buildings and wide roads. Two very rich men lived there, and almost everyone knew them, owned many businesses and beautiful houses.
Always be humble and respectful though you're rich. Remember to also share to others. As Willy African Tales, we're ready to explain you this story about the two rich Nigerian gentlemen.
In a large and busy city in Nigeria, where the sun shines brightly on tall buildings and wide roads filled with cars moving up and down from morning until night, there lived two very rich men who were known by almost everyone in the city. Their houses were very big and beautiful, with tall gates made of strong iron and painted in shining colors that made people stop and look whenever they passed by. Inside their compounds were green gardens, clean swimming pools, and many workers who moved around quietly, doing their daily duties. The first man was called Chief Adebayo. He was a very rich man who owned many businesses, lands, and houses in different parts of the country. People respected him not only because of his money, but also because he spoke gently and listened carefully whenever someone talked to him. He did not like to shout, and he did not like to show off his wealth too much, even though everyone already knew he was very wealthy. The second man was called Chief Okonkwo. He was also very rich, and some people even said he had more money than Chief Adebayo. He loved to dress in expensive clothes and wear big shining shoes that made loud sounds when he walked. He liked people to greet him loudly and praise him in public places. Many people respected him because of his money, but some people were afraid of him because he did not smile often, and he did not like giving out his money easily. Even though both men were rich and lived in the same city, they were not close friends. They would greet each other at important events and meetings, but they did not visit each other's homes. Chief Adebayo had been watching Chief Okonkwo for many years. He had heard many stories about him. Some people said Chief Okonkwo had a hard heart and did not like to help anyone unless there was something to gain. Other people said he only helped when many eyes were watching him. One quiet evening, as Chief Adebayo sat alone on the balcony of his large house and watched the sky slowly turn orange as the sun went down, he began to think deeply. He thought about money and about life. He believed that true wealth is not only about how much money a man has, but about how much love and kindness he carries in his heart. As he sat there, feeling the soft evening breeze touch his face, one strong thought entered his mind. He wanted to know the truth about Chief Okonkwo's heart. He did not want to believe rumors. He wanted to see for himself whether the man was truly kind or truly selfish. And as the sky became darker and the stars began to appear one by one, Chief Adebayo quietly made a decision in his heart that would change everything, because he decided that he would test Chief Okonkwo in a way that no one would ever expect. Chief Adebayo did not sleep well that night because the decision he had made kept turning in his mind again and again, like a wheel that would not stop turning. He knew that if he truly wanted to test Chief Okonkwo's heart, he could not do it as a rich man wearing fine clothes and driving long, shining cars, because people behave differently when they see wealth standing in front of them. He understood that to see the real heart of a man, you must meet him in a way that gives him nothing to gain and nothing to fear. Early the next morning, before the sun rose fully into the sky, Chief Adebayo called his most trusted servant into his private room. He told him that he was going on a short, secret journey and that nobody must know where he was going. He removed his expensive wristwatch and placed it gently inside a wooden drawer. He took off his fine clothes, made from costly fabric, and folded them neatly. Then he opened a small box where old and simple clothes were kept. Clothes that looked worn and faded, like they had seen many years of hard work under the hot sun. He chose a simple shirt that had small tears near the collar and a pair of trousers that looked old and tired. He wore simple sandals instead of his polished shoes. He even rubbed a little dust on his clothes and face so that he would not look clean and rich. When he stood in front of the mirror, he could hardly recognize himself. The rich and respected Chief Adebayo was gone. In his place stood a man who looked like someone who had struggled for many years without help. Before leaving his large house through a small back gate so that no one would notice him, he took a deep breath and reminded himself why he was doing this. He was not doing it to shame anyone. He was doing it to learn the truth. He wanted to know if Chief Okonkwo would show kindness to a man who looked poor and helpless. As he walked along the busy road, something new began to happen to him. The same people who used to greet him with wide smiles and deep bows did not even look at him now. Some even pushed past him without saying sorry. A young boy selling fruits shouted at him to move away from his stand. A taxi driver refused to stop when he raised his hand. For the first time in many years, Chief Adebayo felt what it was like to be ignored. The sun was hot above his head, and the dust from the road rose into the air as cars passed by. Yet he kept walking slowly and steadily toward the large office building owned by Chief Okonkwo. The building was tall and covered in shining glass that reflected the bright sky. Security guards stood at the entrance, dressed in clean uniforms, watching everyone who came in and out. When Chief Adebayo finally stood in front of the gate, looking small in his worn clothes and simple sandals, he knew that the true test was about to begin, because the next few moments would show him whether wealth had built a wall around Chief Okonkwo's heart, or whether there was still a door open for kindness. As Chief Adebayo stood quietly in front of the tall gate of Chief Okonkwo's shining office building, the security guards looked at him from head to toe with eyes that were full of doubt. One of the guards stepped forward and asked him what he wanted, in a voice that was not friendly and not patient. Chief Adebayo bowed his head gently and spoke in a soft voice, saying that he had come to see Chief Okonkwo because he needed help for his family. The guard laughed a little and said that many people come every day asking for help, and that Chief Okonkwo was a very busy man who did not have time for everyone. Chief Adebayo did not argue, and he did not show anger. He simply pleaded in a calm voice and said that even 5 minutes would be enough because his need was serious and his heart was heavy. The second guard looked at him carefully and then said they would send a message inside, but that he should not expect too much. After some time that felt very long under the hot sun, a young assistant came out from the building. The assistant looked neat and important, holding a small book in his hand. He looked at Chief Adebayo's dusty clothes and tired sandals, and his face showed little interest. Still, he told him to follow. Chief Adebayo was led into a large waiting room with soft chairs and cold air blowing from the walls. The floor was so clean that it shone like a mirror. He sat down quietly, feeling the difference between this cold, beautiful room and the hot, noisy street outside. After some time, the assistant returned and said that Chief Okonkwo would see him, but only for a short moment. When Chief Adebayo entered the large office, he saw Chief Okonkwo sitting behind a wide desk made of polished wood. The desk was covered with papers and a shining pen holder. Chief Okonkwo wore a fine suit and a gold wristwatch that sparkled as he moved his hand. He did not stand up. He simply looked at the man before him with eyes that were sharp and serious. Chief Adebayo bowed slightly and began to speak in a humble tone. He said that he was once doing well in business, but things had fallen apart, and now he could not feed his family properly. He said he had heard that Chief Okonkwo was a great and powerful man who had the ability to help people rise again. He asked for support, not as a gift, but as a chance to begin again.
Chief Okonkwo leaned back in his chair and looked at him for a long moment without speaking. Then he asked many questions in a voice that sounded more like a judge than a helper. He asked why his business failed. He asked if he had any property left. He asked what he could offer in return. His words were not cruel, but they were not warm either. Chief Adebayo answered each question carefully and calmly, still acting as a struggling man who had lost almost everything. He watched Chief Okonkwo's face closely, trying to see if there would be a sign of kindness, a softening of the eyes, or even a small smile of understanding. The room became quiet after the questions were finished, and Chief Okonkwo tapped his fingers gently on the desk, as if he was thinking deeply about something important. Chief Adebayo waited patiently, knowing that what would be said next would reveal the true condition of the other man's heart, because this was the moment when wealth would either open its hand or close it tightly. The room was still very quiet as Chief Okonkwo continued to tap his fingers slowly on the polished wooden desk, and Chief Adebayo stood there with his head slightly bowed, waiting for the words that would show what kind of heart was sitting behind that large desk. After a long moment, Chief Okonkwo cleared his throat and began to speak in a calm but firm voice. He said that business is not a game for weak people, and that anyone who loses everything must have made serious mistakes. He said that he worked very hard to build his wealth, and that he could not just give money to every person who came with a sad story. He explained that if he helped one person today, 10 more would come tomorrow, and soon he would have nothing left to protect himself. His words were steady, but they carried no softness inside them. Chief Adebayo listened carefully, still acting like a tired and helpless man. Chief Okonkwo then opened a drawer and took out a small amount of money. He placed it on the table and pushed it forward slowly.